Hey, what's up guys? Welcome back. In this video, we will design a very simple Android application and I will also show you how to run this application inside your Android smartphone. So as you can see, I've made an application by the name of sample app. You can create your application by going in projects, start new project, and you can give your application some name over here. So inside the sample application, I'll first drag a button. After dragging the button, the next thing that I'll drag is a label. So I have kept the label on top, and after the label I have the button over here. Now you can also notice, since I've taken two components, both the components have been listed in this hierarchy over here. The first component is label 1 and the second component is button 1, and both these components are inside screen 1. And if I select any of the component from this hierarchy, you can see the properties of that component are listed here. Since I've selected button 1, you can see in the properties button 1 has been shown, and these are the properties of button 1. So the first thing that I'll do is I will change the text of this label so that this label will now read sample text. So I'll click on text for label 1 over here. Next I will go in properties, and you can see in properties label 1 has been highlighted here. Next I'll go down and I'll search for an option which says text. So you can see the text option is over here, and from the text option I'll give this a name of sample text. And if I do a mouse click anywhere, you can see the text has been changed to sample text. Now you can see that this text is actually very small, so I'll increase the font size of this, and to increase the font size, you can see that there is an option which says font size. So currently the font size is 14. I'll change this to 30, and if I press enter, you can see the font size is now been increased. Now after making some modifications inside the font, next I'll click on the button and I will rename this button so that instead of showing text for button 1, it will now show click here. So I've selected the button 1 here. Next I'll go in text and I will write down click here. Similarly, I'll increase the font size of the button as well, so I'll give this a font size of 20. Now I basically finished with the designing part, but as you guys can see, the label and the button both are on the extreme left side. Now this is happening because the alignment of the screen is on the top left side. So next what I'll do is I'll change the alignment of the screen such that the label and the button both are in the center of the screen. So to change the alignment, I'll click on screen 1, okay, because I have to change the alignment of screen 1 over here. Next you can see the align horizontal for this screen is set to left. So I'll click on this option and then I'll click on center. So now you can see the label and the button both are in the center of the screen horizontally. Next I'll also bring them in the center vertically. So to center them vertically, I'll click on align vertical and then I'll click on center again. So now you can see the label and the button both are in the center of the screen. Next, as you can see, there is no space between the label and the button. So to add some space, I'll go in layouts and I'll drag a horizontal layout. So I won't be putting any components inside the horizontal arrangement. I've just used it for adding some space between the label and the button. Next, I'll select this horizontal layout and I'll change the height of the layout because I think the height distance between the label and the button is a little too much. So I'll select the horizontal layout first, and you can see I have this option of height over here. So I'll click on height. Now there are some options called as automatic fill parent and pixels. I'll discuss them later, but currently I'll change the height to 40 pixels and then I'll click OK. So you can see the shape of the box is changed, that is the height has been reduced. So this height from here to here is actually 40 pixels. Now I basically finished the designer part of this application. Next I'll move to the blocks part. Now inside the blocks part, I'll write the code in such a way that when you click on this button, the sample text will change. Okay, and instead of displaying sample text, I'll display something else. So next I'll click on the blocks option, and after clicking on the blocks option, you can see on the left side I have this option of screen 1, label 1, horizontal arrangement 1 and button 1. So since I want to click on the button to change the text, so I'll click on this button option here and I'll select this first block over here. That is, I'll select this brown block which says button1.click. So this block is basically asking you what do you want to do when the button is clicked. So when the button is clicked, I want to basically change the text of this label. So for changing the text of this label, I'll click on the label 1 option. Next, you can see I have this dark green block over here. Now this dark green block can easily fit in this brown block over here. Now you can see this dark green block consists of 2 drop down options. If you see the first drop down option only consists of label 1. So the first drop down option will show you all the components which are similar to label. So if suppose you have 4 labels, then it will show you all 4 labels over here. It only shows you the components which are similar. Now after this, you can see that there is one more drop down. Now this second drop down will show you the properties of this label. So background color is one property of this label. Now I'm not interested in background color. I'm basically interested in the text of this label 1 because I want to change the text of label 1. So I'll click on the second drop down and you can see I have this option of text over here. Next, I'll put this green block inside the brown block. So when you click on button 1, we are going to set the text of label. Set basically means we are going to change the text of the label from its actual value to some another value. So since I want to change the value of the text inside label 1, so for that you can see on the left side I have this option which says text. So I'll click on this option. On the top I have this option of empty text. So empty text basically means empty string. So next what I'll do, I'll drag this pink block and I'll put it here. So instead of sample text, I will now display this is my first Android app. So now when the user clicks on the button, the text of the label 1 will be set to this is my first Android application. So I've basically finished creating a first Android application. Now next I'll be showing you how to run this application inside your Android smartphone. So guys, to run the application inside your Android smartphone, I'll first click on build and you can see in the build there are 2 options. The first option says provide QR code for APK and the second option says save.apk file to my computer. Now if you choose the second option, then an APK file, that is the extension file for your Android app, will be saved inside your computer and then you have to transfer this file in your Android smartphone and then install it. If you look at the first option, then the first option will basically provide you with a QR code. You have to scan the QR code and after scanning the QR code, you can directly download the app inside your Android smartphone. I personally prefer this first option, that is scanning the QR code and downloading the app directly inside your smartphone. So to use this first option, you need to download any QR code applications. So if I go on Google Play Store and if I type QR code scanner, then you can see for QR code scanner, there are so many QR code applications available. I personally use this application for scanning the QR code. Okay, so I'll close this up. Next, after clicking on build, I'll click on this option which says provide QR code for .apk. And after I click on that option, you can see AI2 is generating a QR code for this application. So guys, as you can see, a QR code is being generated over here. Next, I'll scan this QR code from my Android smartphone. I have actually cloned my Android smartphone in front of my screen. After that, I'll open the QR code application. After opening the QR code app, next I'll just scan it. So as you can see, I basically scanned the QR code. After that, I'll click on open. So I'll click on OK. After that, you can see the application is being downloaded over here. And next, if I click on sample application.apk, it will ask me to install the app. So I'll click on install. And once the installation is complete, next I'll click on open. And so guys, as you can see, the application is opened over here. Inside the application, I have 2 components. First is a label which says sample text and second is a button which says click here. So next, if I click on the click here button, you can see the text of the label is changed to this is my first Android app. So guys, that's it from this video. I hope from this video, you would have understood how to create your first Android app.